Hello again, Rebecca here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do this page mat sketch right there. I believe it's from this month or last month, May of 2020. I'm going to use the Amy Tangerine Oh Happy Life pattern paper booklet there, and here's just the pieces of paper that I've chose. So I'm going to kind of lay those out for you. And that picture is of my first wedding and my sister, and I love the picture. I don't love the wedding, but what are you gonna do, right? So I'm using the back of that draft paper, which I find pretty hard to use on most anything anyway, and I'm gonna use that just to mat my photo because the photo is in black and white, and there are so many pops of color in this collection. So we're just going to get it all matted on white real quick. And then, I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh, I'm going to fussy cut out these flowers, but I'm not going to make you watch the whole thing. So you're just going to watch a little bit of it. And then I'm going to come back, and through the magic of editing, it's going to be like, boom, there they are. All right. So if you noticed on that page map sketch, and I suggest maybe you freeze it because I am working on editing here. If you see it down there, there's a whole bunch of banners. And I decided to nix the banners and use flowers, those cutout flowers in its place. And I cut up that entire 12 by 12 sheet and leaves and everything. And I used them all. I was pretty proud of that. But I've had this paper pads sitting around for a while, and I haven't really used it, so I thought, why not? I'm going to cut that just a smidge bigger on the top and bottom of the photo, and I'm going to take about 1 inch to 1.5 inches off on each side. I'm going to cut this. I cut that happy strip into a banner that's going to run the length of the page. I think it's 12 long and 3 wide. I'm going to run that, and then I'm going to run that underneath the heart paper, and then I cut, which my trimmer decided to break right there, but I cut that to a 1-inch strip, and then I had to kind of trim it. But I'm just going to use that as a tad bit of a border underneath that happy paper. Say that like 400 times fast, right? So I am going to commit to the placement, and I haven't even put them down yet, but that's pretty much how I scrapbook. If you've watched me for a while, I just go for it. You can always rip things back up. It's fine. Or work around it. And like I said, if you noticed, I only put adhesive on that top strip. Okay? And that's so I could do what I'm doing right there. Now I'm going to mess it up, obviously. See how it's crooked? Get my T-square ruler, and I'm like, oh, Lord, see? Oh, and then you just rip that right back up. That ATG gun is so freaking awesome because the adhesive sticks, okay? After it's sat for like a day or two, you will tear the paper up if you try to pull it up. But it is removable right away. So then I'm just going to roll that down and get that happy paper stuck down. Then I'm going to flip over the paper, and I'm going to trim it. Because I'm going to trim off all of those things. And if you noticed, I just used one of the cut-aparts from the sheet. And since these are not double-sided, it's really easy to turn those into white cardstock. And I find I end up using more paper that way, more of my pattern papers, because we can all use white cardstock, and I don't want to waste, some of these papers. I wasn't going to use that cut apart, so it was just going to sit here until I threw it away or died. One of the two. I kind of broke my adhesive thing there. And I'm going to use my T-square ruler to get that straight, because for the life of me, I can't put anything down straight. I love to watch you women. You are miracle workers that eyeball it. I'm amazed and in awe of most of my YouTube people that I follow, because they are just awesome. See, that looks crooked to me, but it can't because I used the T-square ruler. Now I'm going to flip through my bin of goodness, and I randomly just start throwing out things that I think are going to work. For the most part, I believe I use most of them up, but that is from like the past 3 or 4 kits that I have been putting together. So It's quite full, and I believe after this layout, I dumped it into my bin that needs to be filed. So I just like this. It says fashion changes style. Fashion changes, style endures, and it's me and my sister being fancy, being all sassy. And actually, that picture was not posed, and if you they just snapped it. And the funny part was we're in the exact same pose, right down to the smile, the way that we're holding our dress, the foot we're stepping off with, the shoulders cocked. We are definitely sisters, and I love her. Now I'm just kind of separating out the flowers right now. I'm putting them in the clusters, which have the big and the little, then just the big, and then just the little, and then the leaves over to the side. Down at the bottom there, they're the ones that were the edges of the paper. So I am going to use those. I'm just going to use those first to make sure I get them all stuck under. Some of these I will be popping up on some foam tape, and others will be flat. Some will be half popped, half not. It was just kind of however the spirit moved me at the moment, I guess you could say. So yeah, I am just sticking them down. And actually, this didn't take as long as I thought it would. I mean, to be fair, it took a fair amount of time, but I really love the way this layout turned out. I have it here in front of me, and it's just a big bouquet of love. And this picture was actually taken not by the photographer. You can see the photographer's behind me taking the picture. He sucked. I didn't actually get any of my wedding pictures because he sucked so bad. They were all out of focus and horrible. This is just a picture that one of the groomsmen snapped. Memories. Like the corners of my mind. All right, I'm done rambling now. How's everybody doing? I'm still working from home. I figured it out earlier because it was making me laugh because I couldn't remember. I have been working from home for a total of 64 days and a total of 90 days because the 64 is Monday through Friday. 90 is including weekends, so I've been home for 3 months as of today, which today is June 15th. So by the time you've seen this, I've been home for longer. And I don't know when we're returning to work. And it's sad. But those are the times we live in, and I'm not going to talk about that because I don't like to listen to other people talk about it. We all have our own opinions and views on the world. None of them are right. None of them are right. None of them are wrong. They're our opinions, and we can have them. All right, so you see that, like, I'm sticking them under. I'm shoving them in and out. Some of them I do end up hanging off the side of the page and then go back and clip them off. And then I get these little foam squares that I hate these things for this reason right here. Oh, pick it off. I like the cheapo dollar store foam, if you guys want to know. It makes me happy because you can make it any size you want. Yep, still putting down the foam. And then and it makes a mess, and those little backies go everywhere. Or am I the only one? Leave a comment if I'm not the only one. I don't know if I'm alone in the world on that or not. But I could see how I would be. But, I have so many of them that I'm trying to use them all up because that's the whole point, is to use what you have. The leaves are actually the easiest part to put on here because I just kind of shove and stick them anywhere. And actually, I tried to use that HEG gun and it just got to be a hassle, so I grabbed out my liquid adhesive, which my liquid adhesive is the Art Glitter Glue, and I use a fine liner bottle. And as long as you recap that after you use it, you can't leave it sitting for a minute. You're golden. It's not going to dry up or anything, but if you don't cap it within about a 30 to 45 second window, you might as well just toss it and buy a new one. But I love the fine liner bottle, and the Art Glitter Glue is really fine, thin. It flows out easily. It's a really affordable price. I get it on Amazon, and it dries clear. So, and it doesn't have like a shine. Like, you can't tell if you put a glob of glue and it, squeezes out from underneath your little embellishment. You can't see it. You can't see that at all. So here I am, still putting foam tape down. You guys tired of watching this yet? No, never. See, now I'm using that 8. It's just too big to use on those, and I give it a try. I was using it on the little flowers. I get it all the way through all those little flowers, but when I get through a couple of the leaves, and you'll see I switch, and I can't do it anymore. This is where I just start tucking them in, and then I start letting them hang off. The leaves are mostly what gets to be hung off. And I'm like, I am going to use every last one of these because I didn't want to have to, I sat there and fussy cut them all on. It took me a couple hours to do that. I just sat in the living room. See, here we go. There it is. When we were watching some TV on this weekend when I was filming this, because I actually filmed this yesterday, which was Sunday, the 14th. And then later on that night, he was fiddling with something outside. He's building something, I don't know. And I was like, all right, well, while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and go get some. I haven't been posting on YouTube lately because he's been home. And I feel like I'm ignoring him if I'm in here playing on my craft room. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to ignore you now because I have to. I have got to get back to my crafting because that is my soul. That is what I need to do. And you see, I just keep filling them in and throwing them in. And that is all of those pop-dot thingies. All right, see? Done with it. Back on. That's going to be my title right there. Hello, Summer. That is going to serve as my title because I'm really not trying to remember the wedding or that day. I'm just trying to remember me and my sister. So, trim off the excess. I'm like tapping my fingers there, dancing a little bit because I'm like, what can I do next? Anybody? And I find I've had these little word stickers, and I don't know if I got them as a gift. I have no idea. I can't really tell you. But they have literally been kicking around in my stash for quite some time. So, but they're like random words. They're like a whole bunch of those and theirs and these and child and stuff. So I did just put a little bit in there. There are, different ones that say, like they say original, wish, amazed, remind, girl, and dream. As I was like, you know what? I'm going to get these on here. And then I found these little doodads. They're little bitty, almost see-through flowers. So I sprinkled them in a line going the opposite way. So I went vertical. And that is, after that is pretty much it. I do grab a 9 stencil in black because it goes with it, and I'll never use it, so I stuck it on here because this was 2009. That was the year that I made this tragic mistake of getting married. And so I'm going to staple that on with my Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher. I'm going to fuss around and realize that just get in there in 1, 2, 3. We're going to thumbs up if you like the video and go ahead and click that